So, today I want to talk about cutting out the noise. If this is the first time you are seeing me, I am Becky, a trauma informed life and business coach who went no contact with her father 7 years ago. And now I've built my best life since. And I'm helping other moms do the exact same thing in life and in business. So, back to it and cutting out the things that do not serve us. And again, in life and in business. And in my intro, I did mention that I went no contact with my father, who is a narcissist, about 7 years ago. It was an incredibly hard thing to do. Not easy, but it was years in the making. Now, I could have gone about it in a much cleaner way and probably a little bit healthier, but life will life and things will happen. And I'm sure there's another video and another podcast for that. But I want to take the lessons that I've learned in going no contact and cutting things out that no longer serves me and how I was able to move forward and how a lot of my clients have been able to do that as well. I have worked with entrepreneurs who've had to cut out the extraneous things they were doing in their business that were keeping them busy but not keeping them paid. I've also worked with women who've had to cut out other relatives that were affecting their parenting and all of that to break the cycle and break the pattern, right? They say the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same things over and over again and expecting different results. That goes for family, that goes for business, that goes for pretty much anything. If you're continuing to move in the same circles, do the same things, but you want bigger business, better life, happier kids, you want to be happier yourself because number one is important, but you have to cut out the extraneous noise, the things that don't matter. Or what is it? People who mind don't matter and the people who matter don't mind, right? I know I'm throwing out all the cliches today, but there is a ring of truth to a lot of these cliches. And again, they sound great in theory, but in practice is a little bit different. And I understand that. I have been coached by people who have just like, well, just follow this step, right? Do this thing, do that thing, and life and money will just be amazing and sunshine will fall from the heavens and money will grow on trees. If you couldn't tell, I do get a little bit sarcastic. Sometimes that's the Jersey girl in me. But I don't deal in shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? It's what's happening right here, right now, and what I can do in this moment to move the needle forward. I do that for myself. I do that for my clients. And sometimes it's making some very hard decisions about what gets to stay in your life and what has to go. Because you have goals, you have dreams, whether it's running a successful business, whether it's just being the best mom you can be. Hell, it might just be getting time to yourself every week on a consistent basis. Whatever those things are for you, my philosophy is if you want different results, you have to do something different. And, my story with cutting off my father is super extreme. And I understand that no contact is not for everyone. And I'm happy to have a discussion with you if that is the case and something you want to do with a toxic parent, partner, or somebody else that you have, even toxic friendships. That's a whole other thing. But sometimes it is just trying to figure out who you are and where you want to go and what shifts are going to make. So let me give you a little bit of an easier story. And this is my story. It's not a client story. I had the fortune or misfortune. Again, things happened for me, not to me, that I dated a lot of horrible guys. And I kind of gotten to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay single forever. I'm going to go out on this one last date and I am going to pick somebody that normally would not be my type. I would not be attracted to none of the things. I'm like, if I want a different result, which was a healthy marriage, I needed to do something different. So I did. This was back in the day where there was no Match.com. There was actually a Yahoo Personals. I was on Yahoo Personals. I saw the profile of a guy, and I'm like, totally not my type. He did not have children, tattoos. He had a good job and a college degree. So there you go. So that'll let you know what I was dating previously. But yeah, so I was like, I'm going to give this guy a chance. And in exactly, 17 days, we will have accomplished our 15th year wedding anniversary. 3 kids later, moved a couple times, and we are both very successful in life and in business. So what did I need to do? I needed to take a chance. I needed to break the pattern. I needed to cut out what was no longer serving me, and I needed to do something different. And that's what I tell my friends and my family, my clients, anybody who will listen. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But, I kind of am very opinionated. And there's a process for that, right? It's not just you wake up one day and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do something different and today's going to be the day. I've got a previous video where we talk about accountability, mindset, and giving yourself grace, right? But eventually you do get sick and tired of being sick and tired and you want something else. You want something different. And again, that is absolutely your decision to make. It is something that I definitely can help you with. But if you're not at that space yet or ready to take that leap, I will say that yes, you do deserve something different. You do matter and you can absolutely change your story. It does not have to be what it has always been. If I told you my previous story, you would not believe that I was sitting here today. But these things happen and it's not a miracle. It's not an I got lucky, even though there's definitely some places where I find it miraculous and very lucky. But it's a series of those very tiny micro decisions that we make that get us to where we're at. Usually I marvel all the time. And okay, I'm totally riffing here. But sometimes I will sit and I'll think, I'm like, man, that one little stupid decision that I made of like maybe not to go to the mall that day and do something else, it set in motion a whole chain of events that got me to where I'm at today. And I think they call that the butterfly effect. I watched that movie, in the 90s, still blew my mind, still does blow my mind because I think about those tiny little decisions that, at the onset we think are inconsequential and they really have ramifications that we don't know. So even if you think you're doing one tiny thing or it doesn't seem like you're doing enough, I can assure you, you are. And the little ripples that you are making today are going to make the absolute huge waves that you will see tomorrow. So until then, keep being you and keep being amazing. Later.